Welcome, ladies, gentlemen. Phil's laughing at me. Will you stop laughing at me? I'm trying to get this right, Phil. Come on. Cold open, cold open.
War. War never changes.
Welcome to War Never Changes, the weekly video game podcast. My name is Jim, the Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Florida man, sometimes commonly referred to as the Greek Viking. And over there is my stone-faced friend, 50 caliber, Phil McCracken. Live on location from, once again, parts unknown. Looks beautiful. I'm guessing that is the desk lamp that I see shining in your meaty right shoulder, which typically holsters that big witching hour, or what's that one gun you like called Old Faithful or something? Old Country?
Oh man, old growth.
Old Growth in Call of
Dude,
Duty Modern Warfare Warzone. That's like Phil's favorite gun. I don't know why witching hour isn't the best. It's like a legendary weapon. Like, why would you not
because
think?
it doesn't down people. Dude, remember yesterday when we were peeking up over the very tip of the house,
Yeah.
and the guys were underneath the billboard, and there was like three of them, three
Yeah.
shots, three downed guys. That's why I like that rifle.
Ah, okay. But isn't like I just assumed because it was legendary, it was like
No, so,
powerful
dude,
and
here's the thing.
explosive. It was I don't know. Look, I'm an SMG man. I want to get up close. I'll hit you with an RPG at range. That's as far as I go. But I prefer to stand in front of you. I don't want to be 50 miles away. I don't got time for that.
I have actually a bone to pick about that, and I want to know what the viewers at home think about this. I know I don't usually pose questions for any of you because
Whoa.
none of you are here for me. You're only here for Jim, which is fine. I want to know in the
That's not true.
comments. So old growth is, I believe, either chambered in 308 or 338 Lapua or maybe 7.62 NATO rounds. Witching Hour is fucking chambered in 50 BMG. Why is it that with let's say it's a mid-range shell, a 338 Lapua? Why is it that old growth at any distance, intermediate, long distance, or short distance, will consistently down someone with a chest shot or abdomen up, and I could shoot someone in the head with Witching Hour at like 600 yards, and they're just like, oh, it doesn't matter, and they keep running. I want to know why they're just like, oh, brush it off, brush it off.
Okay, I wasn't aware of a lot of the terminology you just used. I will admit I wasn't tracking, but I think I understand your question. You're saying that the witching hour has a bigger bullet than the other bullets, and you want to know
Yes.
why the bigger bullet doesn't hurt people more than the smaller bullet.
To put it in layman's terms, old growth uses a bullet that you would use to kill an elk. The witching hour uses a bullet that you would use to kill a Humvee or a T-Rex.
Okay,
And I
fair
don't
enough.
understand. If a
Fair
human being
enough.
got shot with a 50 BMG, it would split them in half.
Wow, that's serious. Well, hopefully no one gets split in half. But before you do, make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe, and answer Phil's question on gun calibers and such. I have a few friends who are really into weaponry. Maybe they'll respond, maybe they won't. I will let you know next week. I can only speak from the experience of an SMG that uses little tiny BB bullets that usually takes about 30 or 40 of them to kill somebody because you're just standing there going.
Dude, your your weapon buff people are gonna get out here and be like, old growth isn't chambered in 338 Lapua, it's chambered in 300 Win Mag.
Oh, of
Fuck you.
course.
That's your response.
Wow,
Fuck
that's
you.
serious. Well, I mean, we do have two matching guns in the logo of our podcast. Every week, I'm always looking at these two weapons that are crossed behind the really cool skull with the aviator helmet and gas mask.
Those
Um,
are Kalashnikov style guns.
I
So
was
those,
just going to say, so clearly there is some history of this show being rooted in weaponry.
yes.
But good. Okay. Well, as you can tell, we have been playing Warzone. It is Phil's favorite and only game, apparently.
I travel with the Xbox, bro. It's what I've got. You want to play Forza tonight?
There is Halo, though. I just want to point out that Halo Master Chief Collection, Season 5 Anvil, Pretty darn good. And you know what? That 50 caliber, that sniper rifle, that thing rips people in half. Well, it doesn't. They just go, ooh, but they die.
Oh, dude, you've seen me mess some people up with that rifle.
You are a pretty good sniper, I will say. I was really impressed yesterday with some of the shots you were making. I was up on a roof, RPGing people, and you were sniping people, and we were having pretty much same success. But my blast radius was ginormous. And just a shoulder just launching RPGs into the prairie. I'm like, all right, bitch, I don't know where you are, but as long as you're within this square mile, you're going to get some.
Yep.
So it's, another slowish news week, but I think the thing I want to start off with this week is, and I know I sent you the show notes this week, so I'm going to be talking about the profits of Nintendo and of PlayStation. And unfortunately, Xbox doesn't really reveal their numbers much anymore outside of holistically as a gaming division. They do say our gaming division is up. But they don't really get into the weeds in terms of like the way PlayStation and Nintendo does. And I think largely because Xbox has so many other things going for them. They're not just gaming, as where PlayStation and Nintendo are just gaming. So it kind of gets swept up under services and some of the other way that they track their money. But the interesting fact here was that from 2017 to 2020, the Nintendo has made a $12 billion profit. And PlayStation, from 2013 to 2020, has made a $10.98 billion profit, which is insane to me that the Nintendo Switch, which is half the price of the PlayStation 5, definitely cheaper than the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 4 Pro, has racked in more money in half the time. Insane. Insane.
Okay, those sales figures are attributed only to the sales of consoles?
Yes. Well, no. Profits of the company. So that does include software.
Yeah, no, you can't. I get what you're saying, but you can't say just Switch because remember, Nintendo owns all that super, super valuable IP. I mean, how many fucking anytime like I see a Twitch streamer that's a girl, there's a fucking Legend of Zelda poster or 7 on their wall. Plushies.
Anytime, between the hours of midnight and 2 a.m. I don't know, right?
Hey-oh.
Okay, yes. I don't mean just the hardware, but I mean, that's a big part of it. I mean, I think a lot of their hardware is a big part of it. But yes, I attribute it mostly to the fact that Nintendo games never go on sale. They really don't. And they sell. I mean, people are still buying Mario Kart 8, for example. People are still playing Smash Brothers. They're still buying new copies of it. It's interesting, though, that, PlayStation and Xbox, although we don't really know the whole story there with Xbox, they come in like bursts. So you don't really see anything from them for a while. Then you'll have a game like God of War or Spider-Man or whatever. Blows up the numbers, 10 million units sold, 15 million units sold. And then, you think that'd be a big chunk of change. It'd really kind of drive this number, but the fact that Nintendo could do more in half the time, I mean, wow, that really says a lot for Nintendo.
Shout out to PlayStation, though. As of today, 4.3 million PlayStation 5 units have shipped, and to this day,
Yeah.
4.1 million copies of Spider-Man Miles Morales have sold. So that means that 96% of PS5 users own and are playing Miles Morales.
Do you remember when the Nintendo Switch launched? For a brief moment, there were actually more copies of Breath of the Wild sold than Switches. And for a while, the adoption rate was like 106%. Do you remember that?
I don't, but I believe it.
Because there were people who couldn't get the collector edition right away, scrambling to buy whatever edition they could get, who had multiple copies, ultimately returned some. And there were a lot of people who bought the game, but couldn't get the console. So they had the game, and there was just so it wasn't a one-to-one. It was just almost the opposite, like people like preloading games. That's the only time I've ever heard of that, by the way. But the fact that there's that many PlayStation 5s out there, that says something. And Xbox does not reveal numbers anymore. They've stopped, which is unfortunate. But I guess after getting, kicked around the last couple of years, they rather not talk about it. They just talk about the company holistically, which, by the way, is doing phenomenally well.
Well, yeah, they just shelled out $8 billion like it didn't matter.
I read they have recouped that money already. I don't know
Yeah,
how. I don't
because of
know.
Game Pass.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if it's solely based on Game Pass. That's, and I had read also, kind of transitioning a little bit, just kind of opening it up to the big three. I read that Xbox is actually looking into buying another big studio very soon, based on how lucrative the Bethesda deal has been for them.
What was the report that we read overnight after the Bethesda thing was confirmed by both Microsoft or Xbox and ZeniMax Media? Their Game Pass subscriptions spiked to like 25% overnight.
Yes, yes, I read that. It was yes.
Overnight,
Yeah,
dude.
that's a lot of
Overnight.
dough, man. I gotta give Phil Spencer credit. I mean, I think he's a visionary in the sense that he did see this coming. He really was one of the few people who really believed in it. I'm not entirely sold on Game Pass still. I think I'd rather just own a game. I'm not a big fan of it coming and going. But it does favor the trendy world we live in where, the hot new thing is out and everybody floods to it. So whenever something comes to Game Pass, whether it's good or bad, everybody comes to it, checks it out, and it's the thing to have.
I feel like Game Pass, even though it's been out for a little while, is really in its infancy because it's always been stocked with like these. And I'm not going to trash indie games. I'm
I
not going to
will.
go down that road. They serve their purpose, but it's filled with, I would say, 99% of, if there's 100 games, I don't want to play 99 of them. And I'm just going to be very honest about that. Not going to name any names. But I think now that we're going to see some like next gen titles come out, there's not a whole lot of like fluff next gen titles, like true next gen titles.
Yeah, not
I
yet.
feel like it's going to start offering some real value here pretty quick, and I'm going to be glad I held on to my legacy subscription.
Yeah, I agree. I think the value is only going to increase as these studios eventually ramp up and start to actually produce. I guess it shows, if PlayStation's turning that kind of profit and Xbox is turning out that profit even faster, PlayStation with their PlayStation Now streaming service never really took off. I mean, not a lot of people talk about PlayStation Now the way they talk about Game Pass, that's for sure. And you're not seeing numbers being pulled from PlayStation the way that Nintendo's pulling numbers. So it's interesting that I think from a popular level, I think Sony is the one to beat, but maybe not financially. Maybe financially they're not as good off as we thought they were.
Oh, dude, financially, they're nothing compared to Xbox.
Or Nintendo even, really, based on these numbers.
Yeah, I mean, and dude, here's me not even realizing what a giant Nintendo was. I mean, in a 3-year span to turn a $12 billion profit, that's pretty impressive. But
Some
dude,
serious
they
coin.
they viciously guard their IP, and they don't like you said, there's no discounts. They don't lease that shit out on the cheap, man. If you want a little Mario plushie to cuddle with, it's going to cost you probably 34, $35.
And if you want that I would say collector edition. It wasn't even a collector edition. It was just that lazy ass port of the three Mario games. And that was full price. That was $60.
$60, dude. We got ripped off.
I haven't played that game in like months. I was really, really trying to beat Sunshine. I was really like, I am going to beat Sunshine. I'm going to finally see it through. And I was doing okay with it, but anything else happened and I moved on.
Same, dude. I was really into Sunshine, and I was getting all the sun sprites, or all the stars, or whatever they were,
Doing it all, collecting
and
them
then,
all.
dude, I realized this is dumb, and I went and did something else.
I really
And
want to beat it.
PS5 came out.
I really want to beat it. I guess I could Google it, but I feel like I want to earn it at this point. I want to know like the story. Like I want to understand what this evil Mario is all about. Like I feel like if I play it, obviously I'll understand the mystery of who evil Mario is.
You don't know who it is? You never even got that far? Okay. Well, I won't spoil it.
Yes, please don't spoil a 35,000-year-old game that's got more bugs than your hotel room.
Do you want me to tell you who it is?
No, no, I want to be surprised. Don't tease me. I'll find out when the time's right. Maybe never. Maybe I mean I could Google it like I said, but there's a mystery there of like who could it be? Why is evil Mario spraying all these innocent people with paint and Why does he keep stealing my backpack on these really hard levels? Like, what the hell's going on around here?
What kind of paint is this? Is this Sherman-Williams?
That's right. So, yeah, I just thought that was interesting just to kind of frame, I mean, I am definitely, when I just record stuff on my own, I am a self-proclaimed 150% Sony pony. I will always be a Sony pony. And I will always defend them, and I think they make the best games. I think they make the best hardware. They got the best controller. But this does put things in perspective. And it's not to say I don't like Xbox or Nintendo, but wow, I was really surprised to hear that PlayStation is, I mean, 11 billion is nothing to like wag your finger at, but only $11 billion profit. It's like, man, Xbox does that in like an hour.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, they definitely don't make the best console. Xbox makes the best console. And I don't know where you get off making that statement, but they do have the best controller. They do make the best games, and they do the best marketing-wise as well. I mean,
agree.
every time like I see Master Chief's face like flash across the screen and I realize I'm like, let's talk about Xbox for a second. I still pop a chubby and I'm still excited, but then like, but Sony is just so much more consistent about it, and I see so much more Sony advertising than I do anyone else's, and their commercials always punch me right in the feels, I feel like.
So speaking of getting punched, I did spend a couple hours this week playing the Medium on my PC, which is the latest and greatest Xbox Game Pass title.
I thought you were going to talk about your gulag matches.
Oh, we can talk about those later. We'll talk about we did a little teaser of Warzone. We'll bookend the episode with Warzone. I finally did get a chance to sit down and play the Medium for a couple hours. And it is a very pretty game, but my God, is it boring. I don't know if I'm going to beat it. I play a lot of games, and I'm telling you, like, I'm sitting here playing this game nodding off. That's how bad it was.
Ugh.
And I'm sad because it looks cool. If you're not familiar with the premise, essentially, you are playing as a character who is a medium who can see into the afterlife, essentially. And the whole game, not the whole game, like 99% of the game, is played with a split screen. And you're controlling the same character on the left and the right at the exact same time. Mm-hmm. It's not like you have, whatever you walk forward, both characters walk forward. It's not like one character is controlled with like the left analog stick and one character is controlled with the right analog stick. No. They're both controlled by you at the same time, and you have to solve puzzles. And I'm using very, very, very generous air quotes here. The puzzles you solve are ridiculously stupid. Like, World A has a locked door. World B has like a button you press. You press the button, and then the locked door opens. It's like, it's just so bad. And you keep waiting for like, okay, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And it doesn't. And I'm like, yet another, when you think of Game Pass, and we just said it, look at the profits these guys are turning out. But man, when you think about what Game Pass is bringing, like, are people getting excited for, like, when are people going to catch on that, like, this isn't it?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Listen, I think
you're right.
I have Game Pass. I haven't downloaded a game off Game Pass in 5 months, and it charges me the same time every month. And you know what? $15 a month or whatever it is is the acceptable number of money that people are willing to pay to have the service and have access to it if they want it and not bitch about it. $15 is that price point where people care, but they don't care, and they don't have to put quality shit on there because little old Phil, he's been paying for it for a year, and I think I've been able to download 5 games off it that I actually wanted, that I didn't want to go to the store and buy.
So you think a majority of the people who have Game Pass don't use it and just like to talk about how great it is, but not actually?
No, not talk about it. They just want to have it.
You just want it, just to hold it in your hand, just to hoard it.
To say, hey, I'm a Game Pass subscriber.
Interesting. Okay. I could see that. I mean, I don't know. When you think about all the other monthly services that you have that are entertainment based, between all the streaming services, television, whatever, like, it just seems like it piles on. But I guess what you're saying.
I have them all, dude. We have YouTube Premium. We have HBO Max. We have a Hulu Plus with no commercials. We have Netflix. and we have Disney Plus, and I have Apple Music, Family, so that I have a couple buddies that are on there that use my account. I have Game Pass, dude. I have like $100 or something a month worth of these subscription services, and I might get a cumulative 6 hours a week of use from them.
Must be nice to be on the top of that mountain there, sir. You know, people like me just scraping by.
I'll punch you in the face.
Gotta catch me first, bitch.
Literally no challenge.
Okay, you know, all kidding aside, I understand what you're saying. I have Game Pass really because I got it for free for so many years. Going to really being a part of the Xbox community, like they give it away constantly. They're constantly doing giveaways. I went to E3 a couple of years. I got lifetime membership, not lifetime, like two. I got an annual pass. Rachel got an annual pass. I ended up using hers. I think I'm prepaid through still like 2024 or something for Ultimate. And I've never spent this. I've never given them a penny. I though do think that for me, once that time runs out, I think I'll have to see. I don't know. There are a lot of games like I haven't really played them in a while, but like Sea of Thieves, I didn't pay for. I got a lot of enjoyment out of that. Definitely Forza. I think I got a lot of enjoyment out of that, but I don't know. Maybe in a couple years as it expands more and all the Bethesda games that I haven't played are on there. But I mean, like Deathloop, I'm going to get on PlayStation because that's the only place I can get it. Elder Scrolls would probably be the first one, honestly, where you'd have to say, wait a minute, like what service is this coming to? But if it's still on PC, I don't know. Maybe I just straight out buy it and say forget Game Pass.
I don't know, man. I think they're geniuses. I think Game Pass is
Oh,
genius. Because Halo is going to come out and it's going to cost $60. And they can either be like, hey, we're going to get this game that has single player and multiplayer and we can sell it once for $60, or we could sell the service that gives it to you for free and get that $60 in 4 months, and then you're going to want to keep playing the online portion of it for years.
We're going to keep giving you more stuff, and yeah, that's where the service the service portion of games as a service I think really is going to shine. And as long as they keep giving out new content, I do agree with you. It's going to be hard. I mean, even like Sea of Thieves, which I haven't touched in months, despite the fact it holds a prominent place on the wall. Yeah, they just released the season pass, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get back into Sea of Thieves, which I never bought, by the way. You're right. If Game Pass goes away for me, so does Sea of Thieves, at least right now. But I will say, you know, holistically, great. In the moment, medium's not so good. I don't know. I might go back and try it one more time. Maybe I was just in like a bad mood or something, but it just, the character's kind of boring. It's just a kind of a walking. You like walk forward, click the little button, open the door, do very basic puzzles.
Sounds like Warzone.
Except no one's shooting at you. Speaking as games as a service and how great Sony. No, I don't know. I don't know any transition. I don't know any good transitions for this next news article. But we are starting to see, and Xbox has been definitely taking the charge on this. Their backward compatibility is amazing. PlayStation slowly starting to kind of get their act together, at least on some games. Not all of them yet, unfortunately. But we are starting to see the return of some FPS, 60 FPS titles that are, you know, getting overhaul. God of War being one, Ghost being another, and The Division 2, which is not a PlayStation exclusive, but I'm happy to see that a lot of these kind of transition games or these late launch games for old gen are making their way over to the new stuff, and particularly like God of War. Like my friend's borrowing my copy right now, but I cannot wait to get that game back and try it again.
I heard he's got multiple games of yours.
Yeah, man, I got beat. I don't. You know, it's funny because he's like, "Hey, can I borrow Ghost and God of War?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I beat those games. I'm not gonna play them anymore. Here, you know, take them." And then like a week later, Ghost is like, well, we got this brand new multiplayer experience and we've redone the whole game at 60 frames a second. I'm like,
hey, friend?
Sid, if you're out there, brother, hurry up. I'm coming for you. But yeah, you know, I did not very much. And I mean like maybe 30 minutes at most, just walking around. I did try out the Division 2 because I just wanted to see what the eye candy was like. I didn't do any missions. I didn't really fight anybody, just kind of walked around the streets. And man, does that game look good at 60 frames a second. The only thing the Division 2 to me is missing now is any kind of like haptic feedback with the DualSense, which I think is probably a bridge too far at this point. But that is the only thing bridging that game from like what I'd say is like that to me. That's a next gen game. Like I would put that up there with Call of Duty in terms of just how amazing that game is and how fun it is and how beautiful it looks and now how flashy the graphics are. They look incredible. 4K 60, it looks really good, dude. Really good.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said, like we kind of discussed earlier, and I guess I'll pose this to you as a question. Do you think that these developers deserve like some props for like going back and doing this for us as a community? Because they certainly don't have to.
Agreed.
And it's certainly not free. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's funny because the Division, when it came out, I remember I bought it on PC. I was interested in getting it for console, but I saw it on PC and I was like, I want 60 frames a second. Well, PC's a little more than 60 frames a second. The old 120 ultra wide. But anyways, I digress. It looks so good. It really does. It's such a beautiful game when you have everything turned up to full volume or full graphical setting, that nice smooth frame rate. It's a beautiful game. And I've always said, to me, Ubisoft makes the best open world games, period. And the attention to detail they do when you're walking through these abandoned buildings and just the amount of detail they put into these games is insane. I was disappointed though that it never came. That even when like PlayStation 4 Pro came out and when Xbox One X came out, I was like, okay, this is where we're going to get that 60 frame a second option. We never did. They ended up choosing to go over quality over a frame rate, and I was kind of disappointed by that. But now that they finally like come full circle, like, yeah, this game, I think it's on people's radars. I mean, I think it's a game that people are definitely interested in checking out. They did a really smart thing. They timed it with a Resident Evil crossover. So if you're a high-level character, which we're not, but if you are a high-level character, you have a chance of getting some really cool Resident Evil gear to make your character look like Jill or Chris or Leon or Claire. Or Hunk. It's cool. I'm excited for that. But yeah, good on them. I don't really know. I guess the only thing I wonder, and not a programmer, I don't think it's that hard to bring their game to like next-gen settings. Like, all they have to do is like say, hey, hardware, we're giving you all the stuff, make it work. I don't really know how much work is involved. Not to take away from it, but I don't think it's as difficult as we make it out to be. I think the hardware does a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I don't know. No matter what, at the end of the day, it wasn't free for them to do that.
Oh, no, exactly.
They had to pay their employees at the very least, and it was I'm sure it was at least I'm sure it was millions of dollars to do it. I'm absolutely convinced of that. And they didn't have to do that because we already own these copies of the game. Like, is this going to generate some sales of some new like copies of the game? Sure, probably, but
not many.
A lot of us that already own it or pay for it, we're getting this for free. And I think I think that's like a nice little thing for them to do.
I agree, and the truth is the game is in bargain bin state at this point anyway, just because it's. I don't really know why actually. I mean, we got I think. When we picked it up, I want to say it was $20 for everything, which including Warlords of New York, which is their like big expansion. I think the base game, I've seen it as low as like $3, like just basic bitch Division 2, which is plenty to do, by the way. We still haven't even touched the DLC.
They don't want us in DC, bro. They want us to go back to New York. Every time we log in, they're like, "Hey, get in the chat."
I know that helicopter's so annoying. It's like, shut up. I will see you in 30 hours. Just sit there and keep fueling that damn thing and wait. Yeah, you're right. They didn't have to do it. They didn't have to give this upgrade, which is a nice upgrade. They did the same thing for Ghost Recon. And it's nice to see that they are backing some of their older games. Do you think this implies that the Division 3 is a lot farther out than we think?
No.
You don't think so?
No, because Ragnarok is apparently right around the corner, and they just did the same thing for God of War, which came out in 2018.
Possible.
I would say we see Ragnarok by 2023.
That still seems like a long time away, though, dude. That's a couple of years away.
Well, dude, God of War only came out like 3 years ago.
I
I
need
mean,
I need Division 3 now though. Like right. I need haptic feedback controller support because I'm addicted to it. Um, I don't care about ray tracing. Just give me 60 frames a second. Give me the option. Give me the performance mode, or give me the whatever. I want 60 frames a second, and I'm set. Give me HDR. I'm sold. Day one, I'll buy it. Give me a collector
you know
edition.
what?
I'll pay $300 for it. Let's go.
You know what Jim does, everyone? He gets a 400 round LMG and he just fires into the floor and holds the controller in his lap, going, "Hey!"
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. I gotta say, dude. I mean, we talked about it last week. And I'm playing a lot of computer games. I'm playing a lot of Halo on Old Faithful here. I've had this controller for a long time, long time.
At the first generation Pro.
Yeah, first generation Elite controller with the FanFest 2019 thumb button on it. I don't know if you could. The camera's being nicer.
Bro, that controller is fucking crusty as shit.
It's old, dude. This thing, Halo 5 alone, 3,000 hours alone. That is just Halo 5 on this. Not to mention everything else I've played.
3,000 hours?
Don't forget Red Dead Redemption, which felt like 3,000 hours because that game was boring as shit. Oh my god. Hey, you want to go walk through the forest for 30 minutes? No, good. Dude. Oh god, don't get me started on that hot trash. But all the PC games I've played, and I gotta say, still playing Halo on this, still playing Master Chief Collection. I probably logged, I'd say, 150 hours in the last 3 weeks. Listen, I love this controller. It does not hold a candle to the DualSense. The vibration on this is just not as good. It doesn't feel as refined as a DualSense. All they got to do is just add more DualSense into stuff, and they win. They win. That's it. They win. The end. The end. That's all they got to do. So just give me more of that. Just resell me Division 2 as Division 3 and put DualSense control in it, and I'll buy it.
Yeah. Jeez.
So I'm excited, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm excited for. I'm excited to see what other games that I kind of forgot about. Not to say we really forgot about Division per se, but I'm curious to see any of these other games that came out and you're like, oh, they're okay, and they don't look as good as they do on the new stuff. They get a fresh coat of paint, and man, people are playing them again. People are talking about the Division again. People are buying it. People are talking about God of War again. Like, let's go, man. Let's keep this train rolling. Don't stop now.
What quick impromptu quiz. What game that you believe will come out within the next 24 calendar months for PlayStation are you most excited for? Go.
A new game?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Can I say the next Call of Duty, or is that a cop out?
That's a definite cop-out, especially when we've got Ragnarok and Far Cry 6 on the horizon, buddy.
I'm really curious to see what Sony Bend does next. They're the guys who gave us Days Gone.
Okay.
I really would love a Days Gone sequel. And going back to 60 frames a second, I've been playing Days Gone again because it's 60 frames a second, going out and clearing out those hordes. And that game is masterclass. So you give me a new motorcycle game, give me multiplayer now. Let me go ride the countryside with my friends. And let me go hunt zombies and craft and loot and build up a base and everything. I think that'd be a pretty solid game, man. That would be it for me. I think that gets me more excited thinking about what they're up to next, because that game was so underappreciated and so many people missed it because of the major performance issues when it came out, and rightfully deserved. It was not a great game when it came out. It's a great game now, but a lot of people have moved on.
I can't tell you how cool of a base I think we would have if we could do it together. The amount of time we would spend dicking around building this thing, you being an engineer and me just wanting to play.
The problem though is this, like, would you take your time to make it look pretty, or would it just be functional? Like, I need like pixel perfect symmetry, same color palettes.
Dude, no, I would just slap things
Yeah,
together.
see, I can't have that.
Specifically to piss you off. In my own personal game, everything would be pristine.
Oh,
And I
just to screw with me in multiplayer?
Dude, you would tell which half of the base that I built because it would look like shit, and
Oh my
yours would all
god.
be perfect.
Do you know how long I spent in stupid Fallout 4 building my power armor racks? Just meticulously crafting for hours to get every little joint perfectly aligned. My little armor crates all lined up, my weapon racks, my crafting station. And then I put all my power armor in there and I never used it. And I just went off and just ran around my sledgehammer and my underwear with like my armor with like the one spiked shoulder. And I had
Yeah.
that was just a blast. But yeah, man, I would love that. And I think that's where Sony really has a good advantage going into the next year or two. They've got a lot of really good games to build off of. I don't see there being a medium two. I mean, going back and beating up the medium again. I don't see there being a medium two. I don't.
I didn't even know there was a medium one until you told me about it last week. So,
It's just there's a lot of Xbox games that have come out. Recore is a really good example. That was just okay. Sea of Thieves isn't for everyone. It's a fun game, but there's really not a single player story to it. State of Decay needs a lot of work. But I just feel like when you look at the library of some of the PlayStation games, I'm like, man, these really lend themselves well to like what we consider next generation isms. But yeah, man, Days Gone. I love that game so much. I really need to go back and hype it. I gotta hype it for people. People have to try it, and you should try it too because it's on PlayStation Plus Collection. It's there.
I downloaded it.
Good.
I can play it. I'm just doing other stuff right now, man.
Well, quit playing. Quit playing. I don't know what you're doing. You need to start playing Days Gone. We need a Phil's review of Days Gone.
Dude, once I get to level 100 battle pass, I can focus on something else. I have a goal in mind and I want to do it. And if I get distracted, I know what'll happen. I'll never get any of that cool shit at the end of battle pass that I want.
And then in 21 days, the damn thing resets. 2 new guns come out. 5, new maps, new charms, and you're right back in. Battle pass is the greatest, worst thing that ever happened. It is.
Shut up, Jim.
It is. It is.
I don't want to hear about
It's
it.
crack, bro. It's like all I want to do is play to grind my battle pass. Why? I don't know. I have to
And they know people want those charms because they make them so hard to get. They're so far in.
The good ones are way at the end for sure.
Yeah.
So other news, PlayStation may be playing nice. I'm not really sure what the deal behind this is, but MLB 21, the show, which is their annual baseball game, obviously not the 21 part. That's because of the year 21. Is going to be coming to Xbox for the first time ever. This will be the first ever PlayStation game that's coming to Xbox. I'm really surprised.
It's Bethesda.
Yeah, is this their way of saying like, "Hey, buddy, like, we'll give you baseball. Can you give us Elder Scrolls?" Is this like a horse trade? Man, I don't know, dude. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'm not a big baseball fan, but this is. I know a lot of my friends who are into baseball buy PlayStation solely because this game is so well received, and they have the exclusive rights to the names of the players and all that stuff. This marks, I think, a significant moment. I hope this continues. We've seen crossplay already embraced by so many games: Apex Legends, Fortnite, Call of Duty, just to name a few. Why stop now? Like, let's keep it going. I'm not saying we need to have Master Chief on PlayStation, but, I like where this is going. I like the trend that the industry's taking, and there may be a reason behind it I'm totally oblivious to, but I think this is really good.
I like online I like online crossplay. However, I don't ever want to see fucking Kratos on my Xbox. And I don't ever want to fucking see Master Chief on my PlayStation. And you know what? If Sony caves in and starts doing that shit, it's over for them because Xbox has them beat in every other fucking arena.
I don't know I don't know if this is, I'm not really sure why this game in particular.
Just told you, please give us please give us Elder Scrolls.
You just got to get a gaming computer and play it with all these mods. Like, you've played Skyrim 60 frames a second. You liked it. You said it was like life-changing. Well, I don't know if you said it was life-changing. I made that word up. You liked it. You thought it was cool.
I did like it.
So imagine doing that, like, I don't know, 13 years ago, like everybody else on PC. I don't care about frame rate. Wow, it looks really good. No shit. I care about frame rate. Of course you do. I mean,
I
just
don't care about frame rate.
when
I've
you
told you that. How many times have I told you that?
when you play the Division 2 with me later in the week, you're going to care about frame rate. You're going to be like, "Wow, this looks really good, Jim." I'm like, "I know."
It already looks good at 30 frames per second.
No, it doesn't. I mean, you think it does, but it doesn't.
You're such a pompous asshole with your little green cup. You think it does.
Let me do the pink out.
Hope you choke on it.
um, other exciting news, more next-gen excitement. Battlefield 6 is still confirmed to be happening. This was by EA. They did their annual earnings announcement talking about what's coming in the future. And Battlefield 6 is confirmed to be coming later this year, probably around the holidays, so late, They're typically a rival to Call of Duty. So whatever the next Call of Duty is, you'll see Battlefield come out on around that time. They promise more players than ever before with next generation upgrades, committed to give players what they want. That's what I really want to focus on. We talked about Battlefield on this show before, and I know you were a fan of Battlefield 3. Was that the one you said you played a lot of, or was it the original Battlefield?
All up through 5.
You dropped it. You didn't play 5, right?
No, I played 5. I didn't play whatever one was focused around the girl. I didn't play.
That was 5.
Yeah.
So you probably played Battlefield 1 was the last one you played, and then they went to 5. They did 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. No, Battlefield 1942, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so recall with Battlefield 5, this is what I want to focus on, this branding part, specifically the quote, giving the players what they want. Let me ask you this. What do you need to be as excited about as a Battlefield game as you are a Call of Duty game?
Battlefield 6, Bad Company 2.
Okay, a lot of people immediately go to Bad Company. Immediately, they love that idea.
I fucking love that game, dude.
I did too. Yeah, I wonder, I feel like we get stuck. Games tend to get stuck in these ruts where one game company will do something and everybody piles on. So Battle Royale comes out, PlayerUnknown Battleground, revolutionizes online multiplayer. It really did. Never anything like it. You mean you die, there's rounds, somebody wins, you reset, everybody starts with nothing. Phenomenally brilliant idea. But within a year and a half, there were a dozen clones of Battle Royale modes. Even Battlefield, even Fallout has a Battle Royale mode, which is horrible. Fallout 76 has the Overseer mode, which is atrocious. Oh my god, is it bad. Everybody's jumping ship and wanting to do what the next guy did. And this is where I feel okay, that is definitely played out. Battlefield was so great because it was role-based playing, giant battlefields, tons of destruction, tons of vehicles. I think that's what they need to get back to. So when they say committing to giving players what they want, at least from what I read and my friends and I who spent a lot of time in Battlefield, that's what we want.
You want PUBG, but with a massively interactive and destructible world.
I don't even want PUBG. You can let me spawn on my friends, give me 1,000 tickets, the first person to kill 1,000 people dies, capture the flag, whatever mode you want. I don't necessarily need a battle royale, chase the circle. I think there's a lot of games that support that already. I just want 2 giant bases, a consistent war, constantly fighting back and forth. Maybe it never ends. Maybe you just log in, you fight for a while, you push the flag, you sign off, you come in a day later, maybe the servers just roll on. Maybe there's not a clear, definitive beginning and end of these matches. Just be original. Don't just copy what everybody else is doing.
Nope. EA, ignore him. This is the classic. This is this is the classic fucking Kodak conundrum. So Kodak and Fujifilm, I mean, they're both doing basically the same thing, except Fujifilm bothered to fucking do what the industry dictated, which was go digital, and Kodak was like, no, we're basically a small city in and of ourselves in our headquarters in Rochester, New York. We're not going to go digital. And they were at one point one of they were the biggest company in the world.
Kodak Moment used to be I bet a lot of people don't even know what the hell Kodak is.
Yeah, and now they're
They're,
essentially completely defunct. Only relatively a few years
do
later.
they have a
Don't
website? If
pitch.
I go to Kodak, is there a website?
Yes, this is just make your other multiplayer modes good, make your fucking single player story mode good, make everything about your game good, frame rate, quality control, make all that shit good, and then the stuff that people want, like fucking battle royale, make sure that you have your own iteration of that. Otherwise, you're gonna get left behind. That's what people want to play, and it's like, yeah, we want them to do original shit, but unless they're gonna do like the next fucking genre-defining thing, which was battle royale, they need to offer what people want to play. That's my opinion.
I mean, they did Battle Royale, but it was just bad. It sucked. It was called like Fire Mode or something. You had they said it would be so revolutionary different. It was the exact same thing. It was just like a wall of fire chased you. But it was the same thing. You dropped in armor plates, different level tiers of guns. You could buy people back in. I think there's no gulag, but basically the same thing we've been playing now. But it just sucked. It's like this isn't. I mean, Battlefield. It's in the name. Like, give me a field of battle. Don't like. I don't want to parachute in and like grab gear. Like, I want to start as like a. I want that Fortunate Son moment where I'm shooting the 50 cal with the cigar hanging out of my mouth and the bandana, just lighting up trees and not hitting anything and not caring if I die because I could spawn in and do it again. That's what I need. That's what people want.
They need to have they need to have a battle royale, but have it be focused around famous conflicts, like the storming the beaches of Normandy or something like that, reenacting like these famous battles throughout history. I think that would be cool.
Do you feel that the shooters need to be modern to be fun? Do you like the modern stuff, or do you want like 80s era? Do you want Vietnam era? Do you want World War II again? World War
That's the
One?
thing. Put in a mix of that shit. I mean, when we go to Vietnam era conflicts, give me an M16 or a fucking KAR 98. Give me the shit that was around then, but mix it up. Like, give me some modern conflicts and give me some older shit. Make it fun. Don't put me in the same place. Should we go to airport or should we go to Promenade East? You know what I mean?
So you're saying you're done playing Modern Warfare? Is that what I just heard?
No, shut up.
No, no, that doesn't count.
I want to play it tonight.
Hey, I want to mention that Kodak, by the way, is still around. It's founded in 1888, and it is a whopping $10.98 a share. So if you're interested, scoop it up.
Yeah, no. I live right around the corner from their world headquarters.
You could go and get stock. Roll it in, baby. Yeah, see, that's what, with Battlefield really in particular, though. Yeah, I guess that's where you have to ask yourself, like, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was even last year, particularly with Assassin's Creed. Like, what is the soul of some of these games? And, like, what really makes Battlefield such a great game? What made Assassin's Creed such a great game, past tense? What makes these games fun? And I think that's where a lot of these companies struggle. They kind of get lost in they want to chase things too much. Like, we don't need a Halo battle royale. We don't need one. Would you agree with that?
No.
Why would you want a Halo battle royale? You've already got 15 other battle. What is Halo going to do different?
Master Chief.
Master Chief, that's the only difference. So it's the character model. So
you don't want, let me get this straight. You're saying with a straight face, you don't want a Halo Infinite Battle Royale mode.
I do not want a Halo Infinite Battle Royale mode.
And if they come out with it, you're not going to play it. You give me your word.
No, of course I'm going to play it because I love Halo.
All right, then shut the fuck up.
But it's not what I want. I don't want that.
What do you want?
You gave me a Halo. If you gave me a Halo mini, a baking game where it was a little mini game of Master Chief making donuts for Sarge or for Cortana, I'd play it because I like Halo, dude. Like, I'm gonna play it. But no, I don't want that. I want them to stick to what works. What makes Halo good? Big team battle. That's what makes Halo good. Big team battle. Stick to that. Make it bigger. Like we talked about a couple weeks ago. Make a bigger team battle.
Like Battle Royale.
No, because I don't want it to be a one death. I don't want you to spawn in and only get one shot. Oh, I died. I gotta wait to go in the Cortana box
What,
and fight my way out.
what if you got 3 lives?
It's not Battle Royale then. Why do I only have to have 3 lives? Why can't I be suicidal? Why can't I just run it? Why can't I have full hogs We're just gonna just keep full hogging over and over, and if we throw 1,000 lives at the enemy, so what? Who cares? I'll just spawn in and start over. Why do I have to? Why does it only have to be 3 lives? Why does there have to be a winner? Can't we all win,
I don't
Phil?
know.
Why does there have to be a score? No, I want a winner. But why does there have to be one winner?
My wife's calling me.
All right, we'll take a pause.
No, it's fine.
Last thing, and then we'll let you go, because busy family man that you are. Mass Effect Remastered is coming. Do you care?
No, I never played any of them.
Are you going to?
Are you going to play it with me?
No, it's not multiplayer.
It's not co-op?
No.
No.
Big mistake. I highly recommend you play this game. The original Mass Effect, so revolutionary, it's like Skyrim but outer space. With a plot that actually makes sense.
Okay, if you're not smart enough to grasp
Oh,
the
here
plot,
we go.
I don't know how to fucking help you, bud. It's like, oh, dragons are back. Let's stop the dragons. That's the fucking plot. It made perfect
No,
sense.
there's this whole thing going on with this revolution and some Jarl and Stormcloak or something.
Jarl?
I don't know.
There's multiple Jarls, dude. Which Jarl are you talking about?
Yes. And
See,
Storm.
you don't even know you don't even know what's going on. You're like, this doesn't make sense. Maybe because just like the girl who reviewed Cyberpunk, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's some Stormcloak. There's a revolution, and then there's a vampire girl. Dude, no. Dude, let me ask you this. Honest question. Of all the people that played Skyrim, what percentage of people actually understood what the hell was going on? Do you think more than 50%?
Yeah, I'd say more than 70%. It's not that difficult of a thing to grasp.
Do you think a lot of people even beat it?
Yeah, it's not that difficult to beat.
It's a long game. And you get fun. You have fun doing your own adventure. That's what they need. And that's where Mass Effect, I think, does such a good job, is it reins you in on the story. Pulls you in. You really should check out Mass Effect. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's your life. I'm getting it. Remastered, 60 frames a second, 4K. Yeah, I see you over there.
It come out?
May 11th. When did the original game come out? I don't know. Xbox 360 days, decades ago, it seems like. Yeah, it's just a good space adventure. It's about a character who, end of the world, rises up to the challenge, may or may not win. You meet NPCs that join your party. Decisions you make could kill them forever. The save carries through all 3 games, so decisions you made in game 1 carry over to game 3. My playthrough is radically different than a lot of my friends because I chose to save one character and they chose to save another, and we had totally different experiences because in my world, so-and-so is alive, and in their world, so-and-so is dead.
Yeah, I wish if there's one NPC that I ever wish that I could kill, it was Lydia.
The house Carl. So in my game, she got glitched out and she's gone. I think she died in a cave somewhere, and I don't know where.
She's still in that cave. She's sitting there like this with her sword and her shield, just waiting for you to come
She
back.
teleported through the ground on PlayStation, and I can't get her out.
Well, then she's in the cave, just in the floor, surrounded by rock, and she's just down there doing this.
Now, if you were on PC, you could just hit tilde, open up the code, and spawn the asset in, and she would reappear magically wherever you wanted. Maybe they'll make a mod to resurrect her. Yeah, she's in some cave. Like, you jump down into a thing of water, and she jumped down, and then she vanished, and I was like, oh. And I'm playing as a wizard. I'm like, I need a meat shield, and I have one. I don't have one now, so I'm like in big trouble. I got like a dagger and a fireball, and I'm backpedaling, like holding my hand out like this. His enemies are just like throat punching me. The dudes who wear the masks, the dragon, Mordecai or whatever the hell his name is.
The dragon priest.
Dragon priest, yeah. There's one. It starts with an M, and he does this weird shout, and just instant kills me. And I'm like, boy, if I had a house Carl here, I have a chance.
Bro, and then you turn into a werewolf and just started trucking people.
That is true. Being a werewolf is fun. All right. Well, I think you should play Mass Effect. I think that's where I'm going to end this. I hope you do. But if you don't, it's okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to close up? We got a couple
I'm
minutes
good,
left.
baby. I'm good.
All right. Well, this has been a fun episode. I wanted to bookend it with. God, I can't think. Modern Warfare, Warzone.
Right.
I wanted to end.
We didn't talk about Gearbox either.
We'll talk about them next week. Who cares? Do you care about Gearbox?
Okay.
What do you want to say?
No.
What do you want to say? No, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Fuck Gearbox. That's what I want to say. What did you want to say about Modern Warfare?
I mean, don't you like with Modern Warfare? It is fun, but aren't you ready for something new? What made you like so into Modern Warfare? Or I keep saying Modern Warfare, Warzone. Why not Apex Legends? Why not PUBG, which is the original?
I don't know. I just have fun playing it with you. It's fun. I like the map. I like that we have like a little rhythm. I like that we have like
The airport.
a little way we do what we do. We beat it a couple times, and I just enjoyed beating it so much. I just want to keep beating it. So I don't I don't know, dude. I'm one of those people that just kind of gets stuck on something, and I have to really wear myself out. And unfortunately, you've been dragged down into that rabbit hole with me. And I have been acknowledging that I feel bad about this recently, but I still want to play. So until you refuse to play with me, I'm going to keep playing.
You have started. I will give you credit, and I'm proud of you because this is how we slowly wean me away from the equation. Like we were both like, "Oh, this is really fun. This is really fun. This is like this." We're kind of like here. We're still talking about it, but I'm kind of like I'm ready. But I was proud of you. You did start playing it on your own, at least once, I think.
I've played maybe 4 times without you. I'm just trying to grind through Battle Pass.
That's the sole reason you're playing by yourself is because of Battle Pass. No other reason.
Yeah.
So when you get to 100, you're retiring from Modern Warfare, like Warzone, until the next season?
Until you agree to play with me again.
I agree to play. If anyone out there is watching and wants to play with Phil,
No, I don't want to play with them.
let us know. He makes some funny jokes. He tends to get really mad when he dies. Everybody cheats. No. Am I missing any Phil tropes?
Good with the sniper rifle.
He's really good with a sniper. I will say he is really good with a
Useless
sniper
anywhere
rifle. He is really good. I will give you credit. I think when it comes to sniping, yes, you do a phenomenal job of hitting people at range, which is stupidly crazy how you can shoot that well. He's pretty good at the gulag. Oh, yeah, that was it. This is where I want to end it, with the fists. In my personal opinion, the fists... Let me fix my hair. Hold on. There we go. In my personal opinion, they need to remove boxing from the gulag because it's broken and it doesn't make sense. There is...
All people do, they run up to you and they slide and they hit you. And if you hit someone first,
You win.
The trading of blows, you lose.
It is the most unfun way to die in the gulag. You should just, if you're going to do that, you should just have like infinite throwing knives, so at least there's some skill involved. But standing there punching people repeatedly is just really stupid and not fun. I can't tell you the number of times in the gulag I've gone to a draw where we both die because we're circling around each other like this. And it's so yeah, see, it's so stupid. And I would just hope, honestly, in the future, maybe they realize the error of their ways. And don't give us sniper rifles in the gulag either. Let's just do fun weapons, and I will determine what that means on a case-by-case basis. Because I know what a fun... I'm telling you, you don't want to spawn in with a sniper rifle in a gulag. It's not fun. It's not fun.
No.
It's not fun.
Unless you're me.
Well, I've seen a couple of the shots you take, and I don't know. There could be some lag involved versus like what I'm seeing when I'm watching your screen mirrored, but... there's a couple times it's like, you're like, how did I not get that guy? And I'm like, well, you shot the floor there, Philip. You were like 9 feet away, buddy. That's why.
Fuck you, dude.
And with that, this concludes yet another phenomenal episode with Phil. I'm gonna turn it over to him now, and he's gonna tell you guys he has a special message for each and every one of you. Isn't that right, Phil?
No. So, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Much like Jim will never stop being a salty little bitch, war also never changes. We'll see you next time.